Hey, Class 10 students, and welcome to this A1 Institute Explainer. We are jumping right into a super important topic from your history syllabus, the sense of collective belonging. My goal today is pretty simple: to get you totally exam ready by helping you really get how India's national identity came to be. So let's start with a huge question. Just try to put yourself in the shoes of India's freedom fighters for a second. You've got this vast country, millions and millions of people with different languages, different traditions. How on earth do you bring all of them together and make them feel like they're part of one single nation? That's the puzzle we're going to solve today.
The answer, you see, is all wrapped up in this idea of nationalism. But this wasn't just about politics or protests. It was, at its core, a mission to create a brand new, shared identity that everyone, and I mean everyone, could connect with.
And that brings us to a key term you absolutely have to know for your exams: collective belonging. Now, this feeling doesn't just happen on its own. It's something that's built piece by piece. It's forged in shared struggles, for sure, but also through all these amazing cultural things that really, capture people's imagination. And this is the main point right here. This feeling of unity had to be created on purpose. People needed to discover something they all had in common, some kind of thread that could bind them all together against colonial rule. You can think of it like this. If the politics of the freedom struggle was the skeleton, then culture was its heart and soul. Let's dive into how culture became this incredibly powerful emotional glue that brought millions of people together. The nationalists were so creative with this stuff. They used stories from history, from fiction, to build a national narrative. They went out and collected folk songs and tales that really showed off India's true spirit. And they used popular art and symbols to make the idea of the nation something you could actually see and feel. And this is just a fantastic example of that. You had people like Nataraja Sastry down in Madras who believed that the real soul of the nation was hiding in its folk tales. He went on this epic mission to publish a huge collection of Tamil folk stories because he was convinced he was saving a national literature that others had tried to bury. Speaking of things that are super helpful, if this explainer is clicking for you, do us a favor and hit that like, share, and subscribe button for the A1 Institute channel. We've got more explainers covering the other parts of this chapter to help you nail those exams. Okay, let's talk about one of the most powerful tools they had: symbols. Big ideas can be kind of hard to connect with, but a symbol, wow. A symbol can spark emotion and unite a crowd in a heartbeat. And this is the perfect example of that power. The whole idea of India was given a face, an actual image that people could see: Bharat Mata, or Mother India. Suddenly, a huge, abstract country became something personal, an emotional connection to the motherland. Now, if you look at Abanindranath Tagore's famous painting, Bharat Mata is more than just a calm, motherly figure. Look closer. See how she's shown with a lion and an elephant? That was no accident. Those are ancient symbols of power and authority, showing the strength of the nation she represents. The flag, of course, was another massive symbol. Back during the Swadeshi movement, a tricolor flag popped up. It had 8 lotuses for the 8 provinces of British India and a crescent moon for Hindu-Muslim unity. But then, by 1921, Gandhiji redesigned it into the Swaraj flag. It was still a tricolor, but right in the center he put a spinning wheel. And that one change meant so much. It stood for the Gandhian ideal of self-help, and holding that flag became a powerful act of defiance. But creating a national identity wasn't just about cool symbols and catchy songs. The nationalists knew they had to win the battle of ideas, and to do that, they had to take back India's story. They had to reclaim its history. See, the British had their own version of history, which basically said Indians were backward and couldn't govern themselves. But Indian nationalists completely rejected that. They dug deep into the past and showcased India's incredible achievements in art, science, math, you name it. Their point was powerful. India was once great, and its decline only started when colonization began. So here was the brilliant strategy. By retelling history, nationalists wanted to fill Indians with a massive sense of pride about who they were and where they came from. They wanted people to believe in their own greatness again, to get inspired, and to fight to change the miserable reality of living under British rule. Now, this is a really important point to remember for your exams. As amazing as these efforts to unify were, they weren't always perfect. When the Great Past being celebrated was mostly Hindu, and the symbols being used came from Hindu traditions, sometimes, other communities felt a little left out. And that created its own problems on the road to building one nation for all. All right, let's wrap this all up. Think of this next part as your ultimate cheat sheet for the exam.
These are the absolute key points you've got to lock in.
So, let's recap. First, collective belonging wasn't magic. It was actively created through culture. Second, images like Bharat Mata gave the nation a face people could connect with. Third, symbols like the flag evolved to represent big national ideas. Fourth, rewriting history was essential for building national pride. And finally, don't forget that these efforts weren't always inclusive for everyone.
And there you have it. With these ideas clear in your head, you're not just ready for a test. You're ready to really analyze and understand the fascinating story of how this sense of collective belonging was built in India. And hey, if you want to go even deeper with detailed notes, get some one-on-one guidance for your board exams, or just learn about our other programs, please get in touch with us here at A1 Institute. We are here to help you nail it. All of our contact details, including our phone number, are waiting for you right in the description of this explainer. Thanks so much for tuning in and wishing you the absolute best on your exams.